some noise for World Maker Faire! We are EP Bird. My name is Fritz. This is Steven. We are so psyched to be here at one of the greatest museums in the world, at one of the greatest events in the world. We love Maker Faire. Now, we have 108 bottles of Coke Zero, 648 Mentos mint candies. In a few minutes, we are going to drop all 648 Mentos into all 108 bottles of Coke Zero and make a really big mess. Now, to let you guys know, there is still a little bit of space inside the barriers. We have a little bit more space for kids. If you want to come over to the sides, there are ways in. If you are inside the barrier right up close to the stage, there is a very good chance you will get wet. They are excited about that. If you are right over in here, you may very well get wet. As we get over to this corner right in here, you'll probably stay dry. As we get closer in here, you may get wet. There's going to be some spray coming in your direction. And then as we get over towards this corner, right over here, it's going to be a little bit drier in this general area. As we get over here, it gets wetter and wetter and wetter until when we are right in line, right where I am facing right now, all the way over there, you are going to get wet. It is that simple. My kind of people. We are going to get soaked to the skin for your amusement. Now, folks, as I said, we are EP Bird, Fritz, and Steven, and if there is one lesson that that you take away from your time here at Maker Faire, if there's one thing that you remember, one thing that sticks in your mind, we want it to be this. Try this at home. That is what Maker Faire is all about. That is what EP Bird is all about. So, we have a few very simple ways that we can show you so that you can do Coke and Mentos at home yourself.
So the easiest way to do this, and you can be doing this minutes after you leave the grocery store, is take your bottle of soda, a handful of Mentos, a piece of paper, and a business card or a playing card, and just roll that piece of paper up into a tube, and then put the playing card or the business card on the bottom of that tube, and then you drop 5 or 6 Mentos mint candies into the tube, and the playing card will hold them in place, and you place that whole assembly over the mouth of an open bottle. Now, the reason you do this is because when you put 1 Mentos in or 2 Mentos in at a time, the geyser will start before you're ready. Slow down. When we pull that card out, the Mentos will fall in. The geyser will go 5 to 10 feet up in the air. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pull. Arms up. And arms up is the most important part. Success or failure? Arms up. So there is no reason everybody here can't be doing this within minutes after you leave the grocery store. Now, we know people at Maker Faire like to do more than one, like we do. And it's hard to do that paper tube and card method and do more than 1 or 2. But it's very easy to do it this way. This is the way we did for our very first video. 4 or 5 Mentos candies, drill or poke a hole through the center of them, then take a piece of fishing line or twine or thread or wire and thread it up through so you've got a bead string of 4 or 5 Mentos. And then take a bottle cap that you've drilled out a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch hole and thread that whole thing up through the bottle cap. And then you take a paper clip, or rather binder clip or a clothespin, and you pinch that top off, and that will hold all those Mentos clipped inside the bottle cap. And then you can screw the bottle cap back onto the bottle, and the Mentos will rest just over the level of the surface of the soda. So that when you remove the binder clip, the Mentos will fall in, and you'll get a beautiful geyser, and since this hole is a little smaller, the geyser will be a little taller. And when you do this, you can set up 4, 5, 10, or as we did for our video, over 100, without any of them going up until you're ready. 3, 2, 1. And I hope you can see that that geyser went higher than the other geyser because that hole is a little smaller than the mouth of the bottle. So the geyser is a little thinner, but it will shoot higher in the air. But if you do 3 shows over the course of a weekend like we're doing here for Maker Faire, it gets awfully tiring drilling all those Mentos. So you can do what we do, which is we have these geyser nozzles on top of our bottles. And this is simply a piece of PVC tubing with a PVC cap attached to a bottle cap that's drilled out. And inside that we've already preloaded 6 Mentos. Some of you kids were helping us earlier this afternoon. And there's a pin that goes across the bottom of the tube, and that holds the Mentos in so that when we pull the pin out, the Mentos drop into the bottle, the geyser shoots out whatever hole we've drilled in the top here. So this prevents us from having to drill 600 Mentos per show, and allows us to set up more quickly. And it also allows us to drill different holes in the tops of the bottles to give us different effects for the choreography that you'll see in a few minutes. So we've got a volunteer who's going to help us. 3, 2, 1, pull. Nice job. And if you look around the stage, you may see slightly different colored tops on our nozzles, and that tells us what hole shape we drilled in the top. We'll show you a couple before. So this one is orange. It has 3 holes and gives a slightly different effect than the last ones we've seen. 3, 2, 1, pull. Now we promised we'd get you guys wet. And we did. One more? This one we didn't drill any holes, we just took a hacksaw and cut a slot across the top, and that gives yet another different effect. 3, 2, 1, pull. So when we set all of these off together, you can see if you can identify some of those effects that we've shown you just now.
Now, the number one question we get asked is, what is it about this combination of Mentos and Coca-Cola that makes it so explosive? You would think that there would be a chemical reaction involved. You would think that there would be something about the ingredients of the Mentos and the ingredients of the Coke that would cause this particular phenomenon. But in fact, it's predominantly a physical reaction. It's a physical reaction called nucleation. And what's going on is you have all of this carbon dioxide, you have all of this fizz inside the soda, and it is looking for somewhere to go. It wants to get out. It wants to escape from that pressure. So it is looking for anything bumpy that it can grab onto. So you can see nucleation in action. If you put your finger inside a cup of soda, you'll see bubbles forming on the ridges of your finger. Well, the same thing is happening when we drop Mentos into Coke. It's just that the reaction is turned up to 11. What we have is actually we went to the factory in Holland where all of the Mentos in the world are made, where they are all born. And the final stage of the birth of a Mentos is they throw several thousand of them into these giant like rock tumblers. They look like huge dryers with thousands of Mentos tumbling around inside them. And they spray them with this fine mist of liquid sugar. It gives it over 40 layers of liquid sugar on the surface, which makes them not only very tasty, but if you look at them under a microscope, literally, there are hundreds of thousands of microscopic bumps. And every single one of those bumps is a place where the carbon dioxide can grab onto. So when we drop 5 or 6 Mentos into a bottle of Coke, they all drop to the bottom of the bottle. All the way down there are bubbles grabbing onto the surface. You get bubbles grabbing onto other bubbles. This cascading reaction, all this pressure is released. Well, it's got to go somewhere. It sends the soda flying out the mouth of the bottle. And because it's a physical reaction, you can use all kinds of stuff. It doesn't just work with Mentos. Let's take a look at a few other things that you can try.